I grew up with dogs. Some really big ones, some medium-sized ones. Sorry, I just could never do the yip-yip kind. I was never good at training my dogs. A few would sit once. A few would fetch, only to then play keep away with me, and certainly none of my dogs would ever do anything useful like hunting. I imagine that if one of my dogs had heard a gunshot over his head, he simply would lay down and die, assuming he'd been the victim of a drive-by. But my no-good dogs excelled at chasing cars. Like a snarling avenger, my mutt would chase the evil car out of our neighborhood, yapping at the spinning tires all the way down the street. And I'm pretty sure that some of my dogs that ran away actually got in the way into the path of an oncoming, well, that's just too unpleasant to think about. Occasionally, when one of the dogs was in tongue out, ears back chase mode, a driver would slow to a stop, perhaps fearful that she would hit the canine pursuer. But once the car would stop, the dog would also stop and do something really ferocious, like spin around in a circle, barking at nothing. Unlike a jungle animal stalking its prey, there was never a final pounce, chewing off the tailpipe or biting a hole in a tire. Once the car was caught, none of my dogs really knew what to do next. Sometimes people saving for retirement remind me of one of my dogs. Now, please don't be offended. These were really cute dogs. Besides, we both know that I'm not talking about you, right? Well, there's a target that they have in their sights. It may be a certain lump sum before they can retire. It may be working to a certain age, or it may be becoming eligible to collect the company pension. But the funny thing is, once they get there, they don't really know what to do. They don't know how to translate a lump sum of money into a monthly stream of income, at least not in a fashion that will provide them adequate income and safety and the promise never to run out of that money. Are you one of those folks with a plan to have a certain amount of money by a certain age, like $1 million by 60? Well, if so, that's great. But before you figure out how to get $1 million, you might want to come up with a plan to convert that pile of dough into a monthly check that will last as long as you do and do so safely. Before you start the chase, it's wise to know what you'll do if or when you catch that car. Offering you wisdom on wealth, I'm Byron Moore. Hi, this is Byron. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you like what you've heard today, why don't you forward this podcast to someone that you think might also benefit from listening? Also, you can access more podcasts and columns, blog posts, and videos on my website, www.ruston.argentadvisors.com. That's Ruston, R-U-S-T-O-N, .argentadvisors.com. Go to the Wisdom on Wealth tab and access these resources. If you've got a question for me, then just send me an email at info@argentadvisors.com. And finally, maybe you're someone who wants some help with your financial situation. I only take on a limited number of new clients each year, and I can only help you if you're teachable, and I only want to work with you if you're nice. But if that sounds like you, and you're someone with $500,000 of investable assets or $250,000 in annual household income, and you're looking for help designing a plan to protect and grow and enjoy your wealth, well, then I would invite you to reach out to me. You can send me an email at info@argentadvisors.com. Just type the words preview meeting in the subject line. My office will be in touch with you to make arrangements for a phone call or an online meeting or an in-person meeting, whichever is appropriate in your case. Well, thanks again for listening. See you next time.